There are many ways which early childhood services can provide opportunities for families to connect with other families. Some of these might be formal events, such as social occasions or parenting evenings, or they could be more informal conversations between parents during arrival or at the end of the day. Feeling connected increases families' sense of belonging and sense of community.
I think it's really interesting to think about how can you get families collectively to connect with each other when some families just aren't ready for that. How do we do that? I think one of the things that's really important is we need to apply a differential approach to working with families and children. One cutter size doesn't fit all. There's going to be many, many different ways and different processes and different timelines that families will respond and engage with services. We have to treat every family as individuals in their own right, like we do children in the learning environments that we provide.
I am very mindful of a service that I know who's just bought 2 new lovely plush couches that they've put in their front foyer area. It's quite a nice large space. And a little byproduct of that was the fact that some of the families started to sit on the couches and talk to each other after they dropped their children off. And the educators, and I take my hat off to them in this, as they started to really welcome that as an opportunity for connection between families. So much so that they, got a kettle and cups, and tried to make it an opportunity for families to actually sit and pause and talk to each other. Now, of course, this is not going to be an opportunity that all families can have, so we have to think of again different ways to include and connect families with families.
The physical space at the service, I think, is a real asset, and it really helps with enabling parents to connect when they have the time, because there's a central atrium area that the rooms run off, and it's set up with cafe style tables and chairs, and the daily newspaper is always there, and there's free tea and coffee. So it's really conducive to taking some time out, or if you're having to wait to see someone, then that's a central area that all parents have to pass through with the comings and goings of the day.
So what we did just recently, we did a welcome disco, which we did about parents getting together and just sort of getting to know each other, because we're sort of in and out, bypass, don't say hello, you might say hello, and we just wanted to sort of welcome everybody because it's a new year and there's new faces, and just so it's not so daunting for them, to say that we're all here to help each other, we all work, but it's always so good to have a chat. So having that welcome disco sort of made a difference, and a lot of parents just commented saying that was great, we should do that more often. So it was more of a social thing, but it got to show the kids were just in their environment. The kids they did their own thing, what they usually do, and the parents got to see that a little bit on a different side of things. So it was great.
You can feel quite isolated as a parent sometimes. So having the service encourage you to develop friendships and gather advice from other people is welcoming. The service provides several opportunities throughout the year for parents to get to know each other in the ways of Christmas parties and centre celebrations.
I've had really positive experiences of getting to know other families through the service, and it's not always easy because we're using a childcare service because both parents are working, and so those drop-off and pick-up times are often reasonably brief, and you might have a quick chat with parents. But through some of those activities that the service organises, we do get the opportunity to speak to other parents. And also because my son has formed some really nice friendships over the last couple of years, and so he'll speak to me about particular friends, and if we're walking into the centre of a morning, he'll point out so-and-so's dad or mum, and that will often prompt me to stop and say hello and have a talk.
We've met lots of other families, and my daughter, who's now 7, she still has play dates with other little girls that she doesn't go to primary school with now, but who she made a really, really strong bond with at this centre. And that is beautiful to see that, and I'm now friends with those children's parents, and there's a sense of belonging. You see each other in the community, and you belong to the same place, and it's a nice feeling.
And the other thing I think that we need to do is acknowledge the distance travelled by families in their own right. The distance travelled by some families is enormous, but it might seem really small. The fact that some families are coming is a massive distance travelled, and the fact that some children are participating is a massive, leap forward for some families. To go to the next step might take months, but that's okay, as long as the educator and the parent have an understanding of that. So we can't force people to connect. What we have to do is look at how our environments and services enable them to connect, and how we provide environments that enable families to be capable in those environments to do the things that they know they're good at.